Okay, so I am live. It just told me so. Anyway, I have been kind of doing some deep diving again and looking around and watching some videos. And I kind of wanted to go over a few current events like Putin is pretty much done with the Ukraine. I think we should be seeing some what do I wanna call it? Some progress there, and I think that, that should be coming out very, very soon. Um, Another thing too is, uh, yet another Hollywood I don't wanna say star because you know what? They're not stars. They're just people who have gone to the dark side, basically. There are very few people in Hollywood that have not gone to the dark side, or they wouldn't be there. Um, it looks like Ben Stiller swung by and was, you know, extremely, what's the word I want to use? Like, okay, so he told President Zelensky that he was his hero. The guy's a comedian. Both of them are, and they're both standing there, and you can tell they both work out or whatever. You got the muscles and stuff like that. I mean, they're not like ripped or anything, but you know, they're standing there. And I hate to say it, but Ben Stiller looks like he's kind of got a little bit of a look on his face, like maybe he got the vax and had the same thing that Justin Bieber had. I saw Justin Bieber come on an interview, and he was talking about it, and then I happened to see him doing a video, and he was saying how he contracted this disorder, whatever it is, and I don't know if it's temporary. I don't know if it's permanent, but feels kind of sorry for the kid. I mean, but got to be careful who you trust, especially these days. Um, and it looks like China is going into Taiwan. Hopefully, it's Xi Jinping and not the CCP. Um, it looks also as though that things are going to be a lot different coming up really soon. Um, we're supposed to be getting some news pretty soon on Nasara. Um, I don't want to say dates or anything like that. I've heard a lot of dates. I've heard a lot of days. I've heard a lot of banter and chatter and things like that. But you know what? Nobody knows. Only God knows. And we just have to kind of deal with that. Um, Another thing, too, is that I'm looking at my phone just in case you don't know what I'm doing over here because I've got some notes and things that I'm heading for. Um, at any rate, I guess with Justin Bieber, let's just say that he and his wife, I guess, both got and so he's not doing very well. I mean, his health is okay, but I guess they could have lost her because of the blood clots. But anyway, they seem to be doing better, and they're young. Maybe they can make it through without an issue. Um, it looks like there was a 6.0 earthquake in Taiwan. Now, what that tells me is there's a very good chance that the military has gone in there and taken whatever they could out of the tunnels underneath there, because any place where there's a coven of those elites, any place that they're at, you're gonna find, um, tunnels underneath, and, of course, we've been funding everybody. Um, it's been on our backs. Nobody, the elites aren't doing it. No, they get Congress to go ahead and do some foreign aid, when we need the aid at home. They've already destroyed our economy, shutting down the pipeline. Even before that, when they were shutting down the businesses, not allowing people to go to restaurants. And, they cost a lot of people a lot of money. And what does Congress do? They go ahead and they vote for 40, 40 trillion. Was that what it was? Or 40 billion? Anyway, when you put a bunch of zeros behind it, it really doesn't matter anymore, especially when we don't have the money in the first place. So, if they're just printing money just to print it, you know how that goes. At any rate, um, they they got that 40. I think it was 40 billion, and they called it foreign aid for Ukraine. Those Ukrainian people never saw that money. It's probably in Zelensky's bank account, and he's been divvying it out to the Khazarian mafia that are left. I'm pretty much I'm hoping against hope that Putin took care of everybody that he needed to take care of. Um, anyway, this 6.0 magnitude earthquake in eastern Taiwan, I guess it hit. I want to say today, maybe yesterday. Anyway, that's probably our military going in there and collapsing the tunnel. That's what I would think. I know that we had a 3.0 here in Georgia, just west of Savannah, in kind of a small town area. I'm thinking the same thing there. Anytime there's these extra earthquakes and things like that, they may be doing it in Yellowstone, for that matter. I know that the elites have been messing with our weather, for forever, um, and it's been exponentially worse. And so anyway, so there's a lot going on. A lot of it is behind the scenes where nobody's actually seeing it, and you're not going to get it from the regular news. They will not tell you anything. You're going to have to come to somebody that's alternative. And my granddaughter, yeah, yeah, I don't know. This whole Ben Stiller thing with Zelensky just floors me. Just ridiculous. Anyway, I guess 29 Chinese military warplanes entered Taiwan Air Defense Identification Zone. Taiwanese Defense Ministry reported that. And so another thing, the PGA reacted to C-19 back in the initial stages of the pandemic. And Jack Nicklaus warned the PGA when it went full blown political against Trump. Now, the thing is that anybody with half a brain is going to know that the majority of people in this country um, like Trump. You know, you may not like him, You may think he's whatever, pompous or whatever. The thing is that in order to repeatedly be, on the top, it always looks like he's gonna lose, but he always winds up on top. And for these guys to actually take him on, you know, he has a great, um, Secret Service and the the fantastic security that he has around him. And I am told that he does, wind up in places where he's insulated completely from other people so that there is no problem with, I mean, he is the president. He's the president, you know? And these people hate him because I always say it's because he's been pissing on their Cheerios and, stopping the adrenochrome coming through, stopping the child trafficking, stopping the human trafficking, and the drugs coming through. The fentanyl is killing people. I mean, that's no accident. That's just not an accident. And it's very disturbing to have to deal with that sort of thing. Now, apparently, when um, when the PGA 2022, when they were planning their championship, they moved it from Donald Trump's Bedminster course to Southern Hills. And Jack Nicklaus called it. He says, that's just the move is just a product of culture. And the problem is that because they are so afraid of conservatives, they will I get it all the time on Facebook. They tried to ban me again. I've been on 30 days suspension over and over and over again. So a lot of times what I do is and I'm not going to say who it is, but a lot of times what I'll do is if I have something I want to say, I will, put it on something and put it out there. Or if there's a post that I want to repost, then I just have somebody do that for me. They may not reach as many people, but at least it's getting out there. Maybe a few people will share. If you see something that resonates with you, share it. Share it. I mean, we need to get the word out. There is so much going on behind the scenes, and we need to collectively get together. And I mean that in a spiritual sense. Um, we have to unite in order to beat these people. There's just no other way. And all this strife and the problems with everything that goes on. I shudder to think what's really going on. Most of the time it's pretty frightening, actually. Um, anyway, I'm going to get back to my notes here. And there's something here that I want to. Um, this is from BioClandestine, and it's actually been posted on Telegram by Kim Skelton, which I really like to follow him because he's really got a lot of good information and it kind of fills in the holes from what you hear from other people. And that is really important. Um, so let's see. Let me see here. Because this is where it starts. Okay. Up here. Okay, so the Russian military catches Ukraine faking war footage for Western propaganda. They do have the footage here. It looks like it's a regular war, but then some people come walking through and they got like, hats with the little balls on the top, and, you know, they're dressed in cold weather clothing, and, they're just watching what's going on, like they're producers or directors or something of that nature. So it's all propaganda. It's all crap. I'm getting really tired of the fluffy crap, you know? It has been confirmed that Ukrainian security forces shot videos that purportedly showed damage caused by Russian armed forces to private households, as well as homeless civilians. The video production used more than 40 actors, and they were paid $25 each, US dollars. Now, where did that money come from? Do you suppose it came from Congress? I bet you it did. And of course, that came out of our pockets. Each each one of them got the $25 United States dollars. Colonel General Mikhail Mizistef said, "Yet another example of why we cannot believe a single piece of Western media coverage." Um, the media is they've been trained by MK Ultra assets, shall we say. If you really pick through the news on regular news, you will notice that if there's some narrative that they want you to hear, they get really, really, very emotional, and it comes out in their voice and all this crap, and it's like, you're not stupid. Wake up. Don't listen to that garbage. Um, anyway, so uh, there's a lot of Western media coverage, quote unquote, about the ongoings in Ukraine, Ghost of Kiev, Snake Island, the maternity ward, the fake guns, the green screens. They've been doing a lot of green screen stuff. And I'll tell you, even years ago, uh, Anderson Cooper got caught in that with the green screen. And he got caught in a lot of stuff, like around the Sandy Hook stuff. They were using green screens. They had this guy on video, and they're like taping him, and he's talking, he's smiling, and all this other stuff. And so they call him so that he can talk to the people, and that was going to be the Western media interview, basically. And he gets up there and he has to go into character, and he's like, all this stuff, and then he goes in there. What an idiot, man. He's on camera, and they're showing that part of it, and then he goes in there and he's like, "Oh, I lost my daughter," and he's just real, like, "Oh, sympathy, feel sorry for me, please." And it's like, the little girl probably didn't even exist. He probably didn't even have a daughter. But, I mean, these are the kind of people, they're getting paid. Crisis actors is what they call them. And I have actually posted on my Facebook page a lot of times where they have the crisis actors on Craigslist. They have this ad, and they'll pay you to be a crisis actor. And you'll find that a lot of the same people are on different crises. It's it's very frustrating. Very frustrating. Anyway, all of those recycled photos from war zones in the past and using recycled footage from video games, they were all fake. It was all fake. And you guys are thinking Putin's Mr. Hitler, well, you guys don't, but the people watching, they think that he's Hitler. And, I mean, And the jury's still out on Hitler anyway, from what I understand. We haven't been told the truth. Never, never told the truth. So, anyway, so Russia is so evil and committing endless war crimes. Why do they have to keep faking all this stuff if it was true? With many lies from Western media, how can we trust anything that they've said? How much of what they report is fake? I mean, how much? Number two, the Russian military have repeatedly and publicly made aware they have no intention of harming civilians. In fact, they were feeding them and they were also like having conversations and swapping food and all of that stuff. It's just ridiculous. They don't The general said that we do not attack civilian infrastructure. We do not go after civilians. Although the Khazarian mafia was actually using um, women and children, Ukrainian people, as shields, so that if they were going after them, they would hit these shields first. They don't care about them. They're just useless eaters like we are. Anyway, the Ukrainian Nazi forces have repeatedly and intentionally put military installations and weapons caches near schools and residential areas in an attempt to paint Russia's military. Um, and accuse them of war crimes so they can fuel the Western propaganda in an attempt to derail global support in Russia's operation to expose the state and the biological weapons that they've been using there. Well, using, maybe concocting, testing. I'm sure that they've used them on people because these people would never not do that. They got to know how bad it is. And they kind of get off on that. Ukrainian armed forces and Ukrainian nationalist fighters continue to use civilian infrastructure for military purposes. Um, and it goes through each one of the um, towns that they've been in, and Odessa is one of them. And I heard a lot about them in Donetsk. Anyway, so what does it all mean? It means that everything the Western world knows about Ukraine is highly calculated and formulated false reality, uh, all in massive attempt to create public distrust in Russia, to prevent the global awakening of the deep state biological network in Ukraine. If you do nothing else, please do some deep diving here because you need to know for sure. It has to be in your heart that you know that they are doing these things to us and to other people around the world because their agenda is to destroy us. And what's crazy is there's a lot of people that'll go, "Oh, you're crazy. You are crazy." I'm not crazy. Okay, I've read the the paperwork on the UN's website. I've read the NIH where it says that ivermectin can cure cancer. Ivermectin. Yeah, they didn't want anybody to take ivermectin, right? Because ivermectin will help you. they demonize it by saying, "Oh, it's just horse meds." And it's crazy because what difference does it make what it's used for if it works, and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg? Um, a lot of those people were getting remied in the hospital. I call it remied. They used remdesivir on them, shut down their kidneys to start, and then the rest of the organs went accordingly. And that's how they killed people. Okay, so um, literal Nazis are using civilians and children as shields for military operations and using false flags to fake Russian war crimes. So this so they can continue to brainwash and lie to the Western world. They are committing global biological genocide. And I don't know about you, but I support Russia, and I do support Russia. They care about their people. So, anyway, that was it was a pretty long thing. Sorry, didn't mean to do that to you. But then there's a thing here on Putin, and he's pretty much saying that he's pretty much almost done over there. And it looks like the deep state new world order is going to go bye bye. Now, something else that I heard that was kind of disturbing is that the WHO has decided that what they're going to do is they're going to vote tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Thursday, I think. Today's the 21st. Tomorrow's the 22nd. And then the 23rd, because they're supposed to get together and do that on the 23rd. Um, I'm going to cover up my shoulders here, my extra skin. It's really hot here, so I have a tank top on. Sorry, guys. But anyway, so, okay, I was talking about something. Um, that's weird. I didn't think I would forget that. Anyway, I'll think of it in a minute. But, okay, so like I said, there's a lot going on behind the scenes right now. And we should have some good news pretty soon. I know that one of the things that they were waiting for before they pulled the trigger on Nasara is for Putin to be finished. Now I guess Xi Jinping is going into Taiwan to try to take out the bad guys there. And there's a lot of good people in these places, but they use them as shields, and it's like, we really need to rid the world of the crimes against humanity. Oh, I know what it was I was going to say. It was about the WHO coming out and saying that they were going to decide, they were going to have a vote to decide whether they should lock down the countries again and just lock down the whole world because of this monkeypox thing. Well, number one, from what I understand from like about three different doctors that I've listened to, monkeypox is transmitted by man on man sex. Okay. I'm not going to have to worry about that. Not at all. And more than half the population isn't going to have to worry about that. Children won't have to worry about that. So, plus, it's not even deadly. It's like, what is wrong with these people? They can just do anything they want to. You know, uh, it's a half baked idea to shut everybody down. I don't think they're going to get away with it. And if I have anything to say about it, I'm definitely going to spread it around. It didn't help, you know. I mean, we haven't even had a case of COVID in Georgia for several months, maybe more than that. And there's still people walking around with masks on. They're going to be the only ones that are going to comply. The rest of us didn't comply the first time, and we're not going to comply now. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The whole thing is just stupid. And I think what we really need to do, something else that I have a group on Facebook, and it's to release the prisoners, the J6 prisoners, because they didn't do anything wrong. They were ushered in there by police officers of DC. I watched them. I've seen the videos. And, some of those people that were breaking windows and stuff like that, they're the same people that were breaking windows in Portland and Seattle and LA and where was where was that other place? Um, Somewhere in Wisconsin. I can't remember. Milwaukee, was it? Something like that. Anyway, um, at any rate, so I'm at 31 minutes. I think I've taken up enough of your time. I like to keep it right around 30 minutes so that I'm not boring you. At some point, I'm going to try to do some Zoom calls with different people that I can interview. And I think that might be kind of fun. So look forward to that. And please, subscribe and come and look at my videos. I'm going to go ahead and post them on Facebook. I'll post them on maybe I'll even post them on Telegram. Maybe I'll do that. Okay. Well, you guys have a wonderful evening. Um, I think that we're probably going to see a lot of information coming out. It's going to be coming out and coming out and coming out. It's been drip, drip, dripping, but now I think it's really going to start flowing like crazy. I wanted to touch on, which reminds me, yeah, I'm going to do that. Wanted to touch on the Queen. I think it's going to be time that they're going to announce her death pretty soon, and we all know that she's been dead for a while. There's some speculation that the person that is playing her part right now is actually a twin sister that they've been hiding. I don't know. I don't know. Um, oh, and Mr. Adrenochrome himself, apparently his clone is not doing very well. So look for a public announcement of his death. You know, in fact, the picture, he looked so bad. He looked like John Podesta. That's pretty bad, huh? Oh boy, I had to say it. Yeah, John Podesta's an evil, evil person. Evil. Anyway, soon we'll be rid of the evil. And Jubilee, Jubilee. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and sign out now. And I want you to have a wonderful evening. I'm going to try to get back on tomorrow, probably maybe a little earlier than this. I had some things to do this morning, and we're still trying to get the house in order. And, I've been mowing lawns and everything else. And I usually have to take a few days off to recuperate from that. So I have almost an acre here, and it's all lawn. Well, a lot of it's lawn, which is beautiful, but, hey. Alrighty. Okay. I appreciate you, and I hope to See you soon.